show it loud, get it loud, turn it up, feel the sound, let's get proud. Step to the rhythm, heart beating wild, sounds on fire, hypnotizing style. Drums drumming deep, trumpet soars high, aggressive moves, we reach for the sky. Go, coffee with Ori, it's a vibe, can't lie. Catchy beat bumping, let's dance. You and I, Bollywood twist in the night, we unite, singing strong, shining through the night.
No matter what obstacle seems to get in my way, I have the tools to get over it, under it, through it, and above it. Because I travel to the south, to the north, to the east, to the west, through many portals and dimensions to reach the height in the universe, to come together.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Coffee and Ori. I hope you see that I'm getting better at this introduction. I'm getting good. I'm sexy now. But tonight's topic, and I found out a way that I want y'all to be a part of it. And let me see. What do you think men are taught to suppress emotions instead of processing them? This is a poll and you get the vote on this. So I said, number one, for them to be tough. Number two, men should not show their feelings. It's all up to you, but you got to be the one to make the decision. But these are some of the things we're going to cover is men's health, mental health, and physical health. It is really important that we really address these issues tonight. So my guest is Ori. I want to bring them to the table. How are you doing, my love? You're kind of dark there, and I'm all bright up in here.
Good. I still haven't figured this whole light mastering thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I will. Everything is new.
Right.
Well, good evening. And on today's segment, we will be discussing men's health and men's mental health as well,
Bingo.
which is very, very important. But before we start, like we said last week, what we said, it's always promised. Today's
card. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Today's tarot card, or let's say vision card. This card, it's about, it's called arriving. And what this card signifies for everyone is the changes that we're going through right now within the planet, but also the changes that are happening not just to people, but also in their mental and emotional state. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And down here, as a medium and as a spiritualist, I know what I'm saying and seeing, but here, what Spirit's pointing out is how people are taking back control of land, and a lot of people are living off grid and becoming self-sustainable, and unfortunately, down here is the things that are happening around the world right now, which is a lot of tragedies, but within the tragedies, these components that are in here show how in every country, in every situation, unfortunately, it's not until we reach the precipice, you know what I'm saying, towards the end, that people actually get it together. And this is what we're living now. We're living in the precipice where people are finally waking up to what's happening. You know, I think that in society, when they say the woke people, right? You know, they will get this government had an issue the last time when people were saying, "Oh, we're woke, we're woke." It's not a matter of being awakened where you want to be rude and obnoxious and go against the government. It's not that. I think that awakening is basically people understanding that if they don't take care of themselves, and they don't start, nurturing not just themselves but also the village, because it takes a village, and a lot of people are doing that now. A lot of people are building compounds. A lot of people are securing and doing a lot of things, which I think it's a great idea. If you have the money and you can invest on land, why not do it? If you can get other people to help, do it. So this is about sustainability. This is about knowing that with everything going on in the world, there are still a lot of people, and humanity is getting together. A lot of young people are going to church. I noticed that a lot of young people are going to church because in this side here is solid. And in this part right here, what Spirit shows me here is a unity in religion. Not just one religion, but many religions, people getting together and actually caring. Through this crisis here, which is right here, right? This is basically what Spirit shows me here. It's like what was going on with Israel and things like that, how they were trying to coerce, the system and have the U.S. and other countries go against other religions except theirs. Well, here, this right here, this part right here, this is the outcome of it. So it's the people, we the people, showing one little piece that they are not as powerful as unity. And this is also part of the wake up movement. This is part of the week. Now, as you go down here, you start to see that it's not just us, it's not just different countries, but it's also the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm, as you can see, it's like a puzzle. So in the spiritual realm, it just seems like there's a what do you call it? It seems like there is like a pullback, but in reality, the universe pulls back. It pushes back, and then it pulls back. So it just seems that there was a big push out, and now it's starting to pull back like a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that things that are universally hidden are coming to the surface. Meaning spirits from other realms, things that are hidden, things that they try to tell us that doesn't exist, like aliens and stuff. We know that it exists. People that are enlightened or people who are connected to spirit knows that these things they're not phony. These things exist. So basically, it's like if you look here and here, it's like they're almost intertwining. It's not completely intertwined yet, but it is coming. And there's nothing to fear, because a change you should never fear change. Change is important. So this card is a very important card because it's very positive, considering all the negatives. This card is a positive. If you're just looking at the picture, you'll say, yeah, it's very pretty. So think about it this way. This is water. You can look at it that way as well. This is water, and this is what it is. Although they say the sea level is rising, this is what you have to focus on. You have to focus on the land mass, and you have to focus on the people and how they're organizing to try to heal the planet. So as long as we have this, as long as we have a sustainable amount of energy, which is energy, then the planet is still doing okay. And that's what we have to continue to keep ourselves in prayer, to keep ourselves meditating, to keep ourselves eating right, to keep ourselves thinking right, to keep on putting into the universe positive energy instead of negative energy. This is the card for this week. Now,
And what is that card called?
well, you know what? I call it many things. I can call it evolution. I can call it beginnings. I can call it, I really haven't named all my cards as of yet, but I can only tell you what I see in it. You know what I'm saying? Spirit chose this card for today because it's a card to show people that we are evolving. And even though it seems like we're backtracking, we're really not. I mean, it seems like we're backtracking because we're going back to compound living. We're going back to like going to the prairies and to the land. But it's what we should have been doing all along. We should have been constantly looking. We should have been looking at the trees and the vegetation instead of giving the government the right to choose and judge what we eat, how we eat, what we do, what we grow. So basically, the people are going back to the way it used to be in the beginning, which actually makes me happy because we have the ability to be we have the ability to be sustainable if we work together, and that's the one thing that people have lost, the sense of community. But now, since we're at the precipice of things ending, now is when people are coming back together as one. Younger people are looking for religion now. Younger people are getting more involved in Buddhism and their old ancestor worshiping. People are looking for God the way that their spirit is guiding them to look for God. Does that make sense?
It does.
So this is the card for today. So this week's card shows a lot of elevation for this week coming, a lot of changes, a lot of financial changes in a good way for many people that are stuck right now waiting for things to manifest. And they're kind of like bummed out, like, well, I don't know what's going on. It hasn't manifested yet. Well, this is letting you know that it will manifest. Just be a little bit more patient. Okay. Now, the topic in hand, what is the main question?
There's a lot of main questions I got.
Well, hit me up with one.
Okay. Why? Okay, I'll put it up here.
If you put it up, I can't see it. I mean, your audience can see it.
You can't see it?
I can see it. Very tiny little letters.
Okay. Why do you think men are taught to suppress emotions instead of processing them? That was on the poll earlier. Okay.
Well, the question is, right, why do men what is it? Why
are men taught to suppress their emotions instead of processing?
Now, you know what? I know this is going to sound kind of like weird or it's going to sound a little off, but it's not about race being racist. The thing is if you look at systemic racism, right? The question is, which men are being suppressed? Are white men being suppressed or black and brown people being suppressed? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get totally what you're saying.
Okay, because you know what? Because you know what? Because if you look at society in a whole, right? If you look at society in a whole, Hispanic men and black men have always looked at white men like, wow, this one has got money and this one is doing that and that. But the thing is, they are privy to a lot of things that we weren't privy to, which was like therapy and a lot of the things that people are using now, like acupuncture, acupressure, meditation. These things were available, but we as Hispanics and blacks, we were not taught. We were always taught that whatever goes on in the home stays in the home, no matter how tragic or how good or bad. You don't talk about the family, you don't bring up things, and you don't discuss things, which I think that hinders us It puts us in a box, and and we're constantly being told like, men don't act that way, and men don't cry, and men don't do this, and
Yep.
men don't do that. And if you really look at the two, if you notice, and I'm sure you've noticed, Dr. D, I'm sure you've noticed because we've been friends for over 30 years. So I know that you and I have seen it, right? Where we can be in a group of men, right? Asian, European men, white American men, Jewish men, Black American men, Hispanic men. Hispanic men and Black men are always trying to prove that they're masculine. Well, yeah, you can be around a group of white men that they can act very, very gay, and they're not gay. They're just in tune with their feminine side, and that's healthy, believe it or not. But society in a whole, I would say that when you combine not just society, but also systemic racism, you add to the pot when you combine religion and politics at the same time. It's like I said last week, it's like they've been trying to build the perfect man. So they're kind of telling you how a man is supposed to act. But the reality is, who knows how a man is really supposed to act? Why can't a man just be who he is? Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Because some of them don't know who they are, for real.
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
But that has to do with who they're around and what their environment is.
Okay.
Now, how this plays an important role in the masculinity is, men are taught to be competitive.
Okay.
To play sports, you have to be better than this one, and you have to outdo this one, and and unfortunately in life, when you put a brother against a brother, although there's love, there's always going to be tyranny. If you have a group of people that play sports together, and one is given more favor than the others, they're going to become jealous, and there's always going to be a competitive streak, because there's always someone in the middle letting you know, well, you're Tom, but Bobby is better than you. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much as what they say, is how they deliver it and
True.
what they're feeding you.
That's true.
Sense. Okay.
That makes sense. My next question is, what does strength really means for a man in today's world?
Well, the way I see it, okay, being a male, the way I see it, and I would say for the past maybe 50, 60 years, strength have always been measured by the dick size. Yeah. Really? Can I say dick on here? Okay. Well, I mean, because it's like, who's the most masculine man? If your testosterone level is high, then you're more masculine than this one. I've seen many frail men beat the crap out of very strong men. So I don't measure manhood or being more by that. But unfortunately, we live in a society that actually has lost what it is to be a man. You know what I'm saying? I've met men along the years that have been single fathers who have raised girls.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, they are the most masculine men that you can think of. Not because they're doing the job and they're working hard, but because they'll sit down with their daughters and let their daughters put like little pigtails on them and put makeup on them. And they're loving on their daughters and teaching their daughters how a man is supposed to respect them. That to me is the most masculine men. Not saying that men who are single parents that raise boys are no different. But what I'm saying is that I think that every man that has children should have a girl, because a girl softens them, and men need to be softened. I think that men for the past 60 years have been living in trauma, to try to be something and try to prove that there's something. When in reality, the only one that you need to prove anything to is God and yourself. No one else.
I agree.
Okay.
So my next question is, how does unhealed trauma show up in men's daily behavior?
Oh my goodness. It depends on the trauma.
Right.
It depends on the trauma. When you need to go on commercial, let me know, okay?
Okay, I will.
If someone calls in and has a question, just let me know.
That too. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
But I'm sorry?
hold on. Hold on for one. I'm supposed to go and do this. I didn't do this thing before. Where is it at? Oh shoot. That's not it. If y'all have any questions, please put them in the comments below, wherever you're watching from: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. I didn't put my Bigo up today, but we'll be ask a question. I'll be sure to get back to you. And if you want to call in, let me know and I will open up the lines. So I don't have the lines open. I won't open them up until someone wants me to open up the lines. So, and if I haven't said it before, if you like what we do, like and subscribe, push the bell button so you know that you'll get notifications. I've been told that some people get notifications and some people don't. And then they said, oh, but I friended you and I liked it you, but you're not there. So that's cleaning house for the minute. We'll go for a commercial in about 4 minutes.
I can't. Okay.
What's going on?
Dr. D, do you like my
Yes.
earbud?
I can't see, baby. That's why I said it's dark in your house.
You like my?
I can see a little bit, but it's dark. You
It's
need
not,
light.
though.
It's like, I'm going to show you.
I'm trying to get my speaker because I even bought a microphone. God.
I like it.
I'll show you later. It's very nice. It's like the baby boy Alegba, the
Uh-huh.
little, with
The little
cigar.
tiny one.
I think it's cute. No, it's a big ass picture. It's like 26 by something.
Okay.
It's a big picture. I like big pictures. Anyway, no, but I mean, I just like big pictures. I think that having less pictures in the walls, but bigger ones, like less but big, it makes a place
It's
look
minimalized for me. That it means it's clean. That's just me.
nice. Yes. So the mental stuff, right? The mental stuff has a lot to do with many things. Do you even know? Let me say this to you. I was listening to something today, right? That 20%, excuse me,
Mhm.
20% of the men in this country right now have very low sperm count.
1253. Missed call.
Did you
hear
just say they have a very low sperm count?
Yes, 20% of men of color and brown and black men in the United States have very low sperm counts.
Why do you think that is? What's going on?
The food, the diet, the medicines, things, the quick fixes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you remember when we were growing up, you can go to a diner and you can get breakfast, right? Real eggs, real ham or bacon or sausage, potatoes, toast. You know what I'm saying? It was a big breakfast. Nowadays, there's small breakfasts filled with.
618-1253.
So it's not just the sperm count, but it's also the birth in this country.
Say that one more time, though.
Birth. Women having babies
Right.
in this country as well. It's like it's not vibing the way it used to vibe, and they're not they don't have so much in them like they used to. So can you hear me through my
I
microphone?
can
No.
hear you great. I can hear you great. I hear you better. I like this clearer now.
Now?
Yes, I like
Yeah.
that. Sounds
I
good.
I have a mic.
Same here.
So anyway, listen, one of the things that I find, right, that's been happening, and I can't say it's just happening now. It's been happening for hundreds of years, where you know, well, not hundreds of years, but I would say
979-618-1253.
since the United States has been put together after all the destruction that happened. There was a time where uh, there was a saying that said, "Mama's babies, daddy's maybes." Remember? Okay, and I think that it plays a relevant part in this conversation because for a long time, um, for a long time, people don't realize that moms play such an important role in raising men. And the reason is because moms have always asked their boys, "How are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on? Talk to me." And boys confided in their mothers, things that they would not confide in their fathers. But along the years, society has tried to teach young men that they can count on, that they don't have to depend on their mothers. They can depend on them. And yes, there are great fathers that, hold on a second. I'm trying to find the little thing to plug my system because it says power is low. It's I think when you change the fabric of life by forcing men to confide in their fathers, sometimes there is no empathy between men and men. There is no empathy and there's no sympathy. It's just like, okay, I understand because I went through it. Instead of a woman's way, which is tell me what's going on and we'll find a solution together. You know what I'm saying? So not giving men solutions on how to handle things and just expecting men to just be so like brute ways of handling things. I think that has a lot to do with it. That's one. Two, I also believe that when men are involved in relationships at a very young age, you know how they find their first girlfriend or whatever, and they're hurting, society is one to say, well, she wasn't good for you anyway, or you don't need that. When in reality, you should just say, you're young. This is not the first time you're going to fall in love. You will be in love again. And, maybe she wasn't ready, or maybe you weren't ready, or maybe the universe wasn't allowing you to connect yet because you were not mature enough. It's like that mothering, and I call it mothering, that mothering energy is no longer there, and it hasn't been there in a long time. And I think also that's what causes a lot of women to walk away from men these days, and men to walk away from women. Men walk away from women because they think women are spoiling the boys, and the women walk away from men because the women feel that their fathers are not playing an important role in listening. And I just think that as you grow up, those things, if you don't talk, those things fester. And then sometimes boys will look at the moms like, well, mom didn't defend me. You know what I'm saying? And they grow up resentment. They grow with resentment. And I think that it's an unfair shot. And unfortunately, like I said, it's systematic system. What is it? Systematic system. It's just I think it's a culture thing. And I think that where we differed along the years, where like I said, it takes a community to build, to raise. It takes a village to raise. I think where we have always differed is that we've always had our moms. We can always talk to our moms about everything. We can always discuss things with women, whether it's an aunt or grandmother, whatever, But by us in integrating into this society, it's almost like it's become a doctrine where you have to be this way or that way, and you're holding in so much because you can't express yourself, because the minute you express yourself as a man, you're looked at as weak, and that becomes the mental cage, because mental issues is the mental issues that we are seeing in America. And I'm not just saying between black and white, black and Hispanic men. I'm talking about all men. Think about when COVID came, how many teenagers off themselves because they were lonely or they were sad. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a person on the outside looking in, you're kind of like, you feel sorry. But me, that I went through all this mental stuff as a teenager that manifested later in life, I look at it like, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you so down on yourself that makes you want to off yourself because you're lonely? That doesn't make any sense. And I think that this section, this group of people, this group of people now, since COVID, if you notice, more kids in their 20s, their teens, and even in their 30s are more closed in. Everything is AI, everything is computers, everything is games, everything is not socializing, because that also plays an important role. If you don't socialize with people, that also creates a cage. You know what I'm saying? That's one, socializing. But two, also knowing the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it, and I keep repeating it, and I said it last week, why it is so important to have mamas present. Mothers or women's energy is so important, because a women can teach their boys and their girls how to stay away from toxic people, how to stay away from people that are no good for you in any kind of way. And they're not being taught that. So unfortunately, you find a lot of gentlemen that are very sensitive, that want to help, and then people take advantage of them, and then they end up hurting, and then they create a cage for themselves, and then they become introverts, and it becomes chaotic. The world right now is suffering a great deal because, unfortunately, society dictates what a man is supposed to be like. Society is dictating how a man is supposed to dress, how a man is supposed to look, how a man is supposed to groom themselves. Society dictates that, So even though there are a lot of men that are strong enough to break free and be independent, there are. Yes, I agree. Sadia. There is a balance. I think that women and men need to understand the value of women. You know the old saying, behind every great man, behind every good man, there's a great woman. I've always been even myself, being a gay male, I love the company of women. I love conversations with women. I love the balance that it brings out in me as a man. A lot of men, may complain about their wives at home, right? And young men may complain about the girlfriend. But when they have a problem, who resolves them for them? The woman. If they want the man, if they're feeling sick, who's the one that makes the appointments? The women. If they got something to do with a billing thing, who do they give it to? Their women. If they got a financial thing, who do they give it to? Their moms, their girlfriends, their wives. So in reality, the men depend on the women. The women are the one that makes them sensitive, not weak. And that's the thing that they have to differentiate between weakness and softness. there is a difference. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you at all. It's like your speaker's off.
Oh, it went off. Commercial. Can you
Yeah,
hear me now? Commercial.
go ahead. We'll be back.
Give us a minute. So let's go. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
No matter what obstacle seems to get in my way, I have the tools to get over it, under it, through it, and above it. Because I travel to the south, to the north, to the east, to the west, through many portals and dimensions, to reach the height in the universe, to come together.
Sights on fire, hypnotizing style. Drums drumming deep, trumpet soars high. Aggressive moves, we
Hey, this is your new song. Another new song. Let me know what you think.
Coffee with Ori.
Guys, let me know what you think of this new song.
Coffee with Ori. Coffee with Ori. How to get no spiritual world by listening to coffee. How the world is chaos. The spirit round my head. Your body is not listening. What do you do? Two and two.
So, what did you think of that song? You personally?
I like it.
Now,
I like it.
I was
like
thinking of using that for your meditation. So, if you do meditation, you let me know.
I think as we continue on with our segments, I will start to include a little meditation before we end it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Which we could actually do that today. Like, take the last 10 minutes to just do breathing exercises, because I think it's very important. I read something today as well when I was up at 5 a.m. I
Uh-huh.
read something today that the problem with men in society today is the fact that they don't want to. They're not dealing well with new changes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That they're intolerant to change. You know what I'm saying? They're intolerant to new changes. And I don't think it's a new problem though. I think that it's been a problem for a long time. I think, and again, like I said, it is a cultural thing. And I have to say, and I know that it sounds racist, but it's not racist, people. It's the facts. Okay. We, people of color, talking about Hispanics, Asians, Africans, we were created not just in the image of God. We were created in image of gods, plural, images of the goddesses. So women were held in such a higher stake, and women were worshipped. We worshiped women. Many, many, many cultures worshipped women, except Europeans. But yet they worship the queen that just died, which doesn't make any sense to me. You worship a living person, you know what I'm saying, that did nothing really. So at the end of the day, I can't strive more of how important female energy is, especially now in the society now with what's happening in the world. The energy, one, also the calendar year. It's the year of the fire horse. Okay, in the Yoruba culture, the African culture, who is governing is Ogun.
Okay.
So it's a lot of accidents, a lot of tragedies, a lot of suicides, a lot of killings, a lot of things happening, a lot of war. But yet, who is coming to be above her? Oshun, the goddess of love and understanding. So she is the balance this year, to balance the negativity and bring peace and love into everything else. So instead of looking at the downside of things, please try to look at the positive side of things. It will help you understand that when you balance both good and bad, high energy and low energy, and you keep everything in unison, everything flows right. Okay. What's the next question?
Okay, let me go. I was just putting this. I'll show that for a minute. Go to the next question. It's like the Chinese. It was the Chinese New Year fire horse. So, where was it? How does poor physical health, meaning diet and sleep, stress, affects a man's mind?
Oh my God. Sleep is so sleep, let me tell you something. Sleep is so important. Sleep is so important to the human body. And I think that men have been living a life for so many years that they have to be productive, that they have to show um,
Go ahead.
they have to work hard, they have to push themselves to be who they are. So they overwork themselves and they always stress themselves. And again, it goes back to not sharing, you know what I'm saying? Not talking about what's going on with them because they're always holding on to everything. So sleep is a very important thing. I always tell people, if you're tired, sleep. If your body is tired, sleep, you know, because when you don't sleep, you're in a mental fog. And when you have a mental fog, your thoughts, your processing thoughts are not there. So you don't process things and you make foolish decisions.
I just put African Yoruba Ogun of the Year. Letting
Yeah.
them say,
Ogun, which kind of like waters down to basically the year of the horse, the year of the fire horse. You know, and people would
Chinese.
say, well, it's fire, it's a horse. Yeah, but you can't look at it like being a horse. And you have to look at the fire, and then you have to look at the metal that's on his feet.
Yep. Elements.
So no matter how you look at it, you're still dealing with a wound. You're still dealing with fire energy. You know, it's a very powerful sign. I was born July 10th, 1966. I was born the year of the fire horse. So this is showing to be a really good year for me.
Okay, we have a question. Why do some women look down on men who do not embrace and value women and are looked as weak? Why do some women look down on men who do embrace and value women and are looked as weak?
Well, if you want me to be ghetto, they're hood rats. But if you want me to be technical, if you want me to be technical about it, I think that again, society, systematic racism plays a big role in everything in our lives. Everything. And unfortunately,
That's okay. She
yeah,
says,
and unfortunately, um, there are women, there are a lot of women that will value a good man.
true.
But again, the same thing I would say to good women. In any relationship, whether you're a woman, married, or girlfriend, or mother, I think that we have forgotten where we set limits. I think we give too much, we show too much too soon, we see things that are happening, we allow people to cross boundaries, we don't put boundaries, and then when things go wrong, we blame the woman or we blame whatever's going on around us instead of taking responsibility for what role we played in it.
Accountability. I like that.
Accountability.
Accountability.
So that's all I can say. Because I'm not going to bash one group without bashing another group, because I know a lot of women who are hood rats, but I also allow a lot of men who are trash. So at the end of the day, you know, women have been getting the brunt of it for centuries. You know, it's something that I was pondering in my head about this morning also, because I wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and all these ideas come to my head. Something I was pondering on, actually I was talking to myself, which was like how women, right, how some men, it was an interview I was listening to on Instagram, right, how some young men, they ask them like, how many bodies, right, how many bodies will bother you that a woman has had that you're dating.
Wow.
So their limit is like, well, 3, right? 3. And I listen to it, and in my mind I'm saying, you know, men can sleep with how many women and men they want, and they're not viewed to be nothing but men or dogs. Whereas a woman that has been with more than 3 men is viewed as a whore. That doesn't make sense to me.
Not balanced.
It's not balanced, and it shouldn't matter. So my advice to people is, in life, no matter who you're with, there should be some secrets between couples.
Right.
I know people that say, well, my wife is my best friend, I tell her everything, or my husband is my, I tell him everything. I don't tell people everything about nothing. Nobody. I don't care if you're my mother. You don't know everything about me. None of my friends know everything about me. There are just certain things I will take to the grave, because it's on a need to know basis. You don't need to know everything. You understand what I'm saying? And if you know how people are, and you're a woman, your man could say, well, I tell you everything. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
The man is not going to tell you everything. So don't believe that. And women that fall for that and tell men everything, all you're doing is giving him fuel to ammunition to destroy you.
Yep.
You know, when they get mad at you, because they'll eventually throw shit in your face, because they always do. Because as much as men try to be as masculine as they want to be, men can be worse gossipers than women, and men can be worse and more pettier than a woman. There's nothing worse than a man having his panties up in a bunch. Nothing worse. Come on. I've seen some of the most masculine men be hanging out with their boys talking shit about their wives. It don't make no goddamn sense to me, and I'm the gay one, okay? I'm the gay one, and they're the ones gossiping. That's why I said they can be very petty. Men are like little boys.
Yeah.
You know?
Some men are like boys, and then some men are men. But then again, that goes back to
Now, I've met a lot of men in my life, and I don't mean a lot of men in one particular spot. I'm talking about in Cuba and Brazil and different parts of the world that I've been to, Colombia, where, like I said, daddies, you know what I'm saying? Little girls. And when you talk about them, or you say something and you ask them about their wife, and they're like, oh, well, you know, we had a breakup or whatever. And you say, well, that was wrong of her. And they're like, no, don't say that. Don't talk about her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I like men who defend every soul and every being of their wives or ex-wives or ex-girlfriends, that don't mock them and throw them to the ground. I admire that. And like I admire women who don't dog their exes for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, when you start to blame people and you judge people, you're not taking accountability for something.
Right. Because you
You're
got
not.
in that relationship for a reason. And
You
people
got in
don't,
that relationship willingly.
right. And it's sometimes it's about growth. And people don't understand. Sometimes you meet people where you at a certain level and then you evolve. And as you evolve, you might outgrow that relationship or y'all grow together. And that
Yeah.
is for men and women. If you got someone that's willing to grow with you, work with you, and love you, and that's good for men too, because for both instances, if y'all willing to grow and work and willing to talk it out and learn what is your communication, how do you communicate? Some men literally have to shut down because they have not been taught proper skills and how to communicate. What they've seen is they put their fathers or men that they seen or they're raised in the street is put their hands or beat them or yell at them or degrade them or disrespect them. There's some women that are just even more vicious than men when it becomes disrespectful. They talk down to their men. Some women even stab their men.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's also what they've seen.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's a pattern. So when you grow together, you learn, or, I believe in that couples, before they really cohabitate at any time, need to go to counseling and really sit down, because even though you're dating this person, when y'all live with each other, it's a whole different ball game.
But you know what? That whole idea of going to counseling, that was diminished when they separated church and state. Because if you remember, in the 60s and the 70s, you had to go to church and speak to the priest before you got married, both couple.
Right.
So
I didn't know that was banished.
Well, I mean, some churches do it, but not as much as they should.
Wow.
Now you just pay the church and they marry you.
Wow, difference.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why there's maybe a lot more divorces, and the men don't understand their roles as a husband, and women don't understand their roles as a wife. It differentiate. There's a difference between a husband, a boyfriend, and a lover.
I
And
agree with
people
you.
don't understand that the difference. When you're a
But
lover,
you
go
also
ahead.
have to, I'm sorry, you also have to understand that since the 90s, because it wasn't that far away, a lot of women had to work.
Right.
There was in the 90s, if you notice, right after that, think about this, and I know that you can relate to this. If you look at the AIDS epidemic, can you remember the AIDS epidemic time?
During the 80s,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, do you remember how many Black and Hispanic, how many men, not even just targeting one race, but there was a lot more brown and Black people dying. How many women were left alone? How many women had to go out and get jobs?
A lot. 60%.
Okay, so think about it. Women, right? Mothers had to leave their homes, leave their babies to go to work to support a household. So
Right.
these women had one or two girls. Girls, all they saw was that, being empowered by women, single women, empowering them. Not saying that they were single because the men left them. A lot of the men died.
Right.
So society was purging, because society was doing that. Society was trying to clip the wings of young men. And they did that. So a lot of young men died, and women were again left to hold everything
The
up.
bag. Yeah.
Everything. So now that women have been so independently working, sometimes the way that they handle things or the way that they raise kids may not always be the best.
Correct.
Because they're working in a man's world, and unfortunately they had to have dealt with so many negative things, comments and bullshit like that, that they try to teach the girls not to
Rely.
tolerate.
Right. Tolerance, right? Boundaries.
And there goes the boundaries. But I think that what's happening right now, I mean, I don't listen. I may not believe in people, but I believe in humanity. You understand? I don't trust people in a whole, but I believe in humanity, and I believe that we have the ability to change things. We
Mhm.
just need to gather ourselves together and do great things together. I think that as a whole, as a collective, all humans, we can link our spirituality together. I know we're getting off in a minute, right?
I
Yeah.
wanted you to do your meditation.
Okay.
You
Well,
got
guys,
it.
listen. I have a few minutes, actually 4 minutes before we log off. I want to do just a simple breathing exercise for now, so that we can clear our minds of all of this mess for today and sleep good. Do you have any meditation music that you can play there? Dr. D?
Can you see it, hear it?
No,
Can you hear it now?
no, I can't hear anything.
All right.
Before I heard it, you played.
Hold on. Let me see. I have to probably go down to the background sound. Let me see.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I want you guys to find a spot where you can just sit up straight.
What do you see? Do you see
And I want you to take
feels? What do
breath.
they look like?
Breathe in.
What did they sound
Hold
like?
it.
Can you show me how to tap in?
Hold it.
Go
Now
and be on
Release.
sight. What are you seeing? What is seeing you? What is
Again.
the
Breathe
dimension
in.
you're really going through?
Breathe in.
See it beyond, see
Hold
it
it.
beyond, see it beyond. Can you see my heart? Is it yellow? Is it blue? Is it green? Is it magenta? What do you see? My heart feels. Are you tapped in? Traveling beyond.
With this last breath, I want you to take in everything.
Traveling beyond sound.
Think of flowers. Think about the sky. Or think about good things. Think about money. Think about anything that makes you take a deep breath. Envision yourself getting paid. Yourself receiving money that you didn't expect. Imagine yourself receiving flowers. Imagine yourself being with your baby. Think of something positive. Deep breath and hold it. And hold it. Now release. When you release all the toxic negativity, not that you have during the day, the stress of work, just release it and let it go. And that, my friend, is all for today. Please feel free to write us and let us know what topic you would like to hear about. It is very important that your cooperation with us, it's important that you cooperate with us and we cooperate with you, because your questions are valid to us and your thoughts are valid to us. We just want to know what you're thinking. Your opinion does matter. So please feel free to write Dr. D, leave comments on what it is that you want our topics to be, and we will try our best to talk and bring up those topics in our next session. Thank you so much for your cooperation and for your love and understanding in today's message. Have a great evening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me see. I wanted you to hear the rest of your song.
Yes, end it with a song.
Yeah,
Just like you started with a song, end it with a song.
yes. Let's see. No, that's not the one.
Mm-mm. I do love it, the melody.
Thank you.
Coffee with Ori. Coffee with Ori. Coffee with Ori. How to get no spiritual world by listening to coffee. How the world is chaos. The spirit round my head. Your body is not listening. What do you do?
We're saying is
Thank you,
that
guys.
they Stay on after this song. Stay on after this. When it close out, don't close out.
Coffee with Ori. 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 How to get no spiritual world by listening to coffee.